Good morning. Today we're going to do a tutorial on biceps. We're going to do 4 exercises, 4 basic bicep exercises. Bicep, the front upper arm muscle. We're going to do 4 exercises I'm just going to demonstrate using a 15-pound dumbbell to show you a good way to do multiple different styles of bicep curls and get different parts of your bicep. Bi means 2, hence two muscles. But we're actually going to bring a third muscle into play too that helps with the contraction of the elbow joint, which is what the bicep is responsible for. The bicep is responsible for pulling your arm in. You reach out, your tricep is flexing, you reach in, your bicep is contracting, okay? They complement each other. As you extend, your tricep functions and your bicep stretches. As you pull in, your bicep contracts and your tricep stretches. So you reach out for the drink with your tricep, you pull it in with your bicep. So we'll do a few different exercises and explain how each exercise hits the bicep in a different way, because it depends on how you hold your hand. All right, let me get a double 2 weights here. To start out with, when you hold the weight, whether you hold it like this or like this, changes things, okay? So if you're holding the weight palm up and doing a curl, it's slightly different than if you hold it hammer style, this is called. Now you'll notice with hammer style, look at my bicep. Now I'm not gonna, the bicep is responsible for bringing these 2 bones back and forth, up and down, right? And it contracts here. I'm not gonna move my radius and ulna, these 2 bones. I'm just gonna rotate my hand. And I want you to look here, what happened? As I rotate it this way, you see my bicep kind of elongated more here. When I rotate it back, you see a little shortening. It disappears down here. The bi, hence 2, is split into 2 heads. One way does one head more, the other way does the other head more. Okay, and we'll just talk about those 2 for right now, and then we'll get into a third way. All right, so first off, for your actions and posture, stance, we're gonna cover that. I like to take shoulder width apart with my feet, okay? A good stance, feet parallel to one another. I kind of like to dig in with my feet and plant myself, okay? When you're doing your exercise for your biceps, it's just your arm that's supposed to be moving, just your arm at your elbow joint. So I'll turn sideways, and here's my posture. I want to have good posture, a little bit of bend in my knees to give myself that little bit of spring and lock myself down. Sure, you could stand up straight, but this is my personal preference. I always want to keep my spine in line when doing my exercises, if it's an exercise that allows me to. So if I'm going to do hammer curls, because I'm holding the weights like hammers right now, you want your arm to be fully extended at your side. You want your elbow, the point of your elbow, to be near your back, as opposed to out here. When you curl your arms up, you want to keep the point of your elbow at the same place at your side. This is keeping it relatively still at the same place. This is not. The point of my elbow went from here to here, back and forth. That then is not a bicep exercise. That is a shoulder exercise or deltoid exercise. Moving my arm like this, raising my arm is deltoids, okay? I want to do biceps. So I'm going to isolate my muscles the best I can. How? By not allowing other muscles to move and help with this process. They can help. There are helper muscles, there are stabilizer muscles. Stabilizer muscles stabilize the muscle group around that muscle as it does its action, as my bicep is in action. So the first exercise you can do for your biceps is the hammer curls. You're going all the way down. I like to pinch my shoulder blades back, and how I produce that action is by, if I'm standing here normal, I stick my chest out, and it pinches my shoulder blades back. It also sets my elbows in the position I want them to be. And then I can curl. And I keep stable. I go all the way up, all the way down. I do not bring my elbows forward. And I repeat this action with the same speed up as the same speed down. There are different styles of movement. You can move for power, You can move for strength. But we're just going to talk about moving at a smooth pace. Even up, even down. And there are long techniques, like a 5-second technique. And then there's a slow down, which is the negative. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the most basic lifting weights, up and down, how you normally see. But you want your pace to be like a pendulum, ticking and talking, but no stopping. All the way up as far as your contraction can go, as far as your forearm muscle can go before it hits your bicep, as far as God gave you the range of motion. And then all the way down to a locked position. For this exercise, locking your arm is not going to hurt your joint. So yes, I want you to fully straighten your muscle out. There are schools of thought that only do a limited range of motion. They don't go all the way down. That's fine. Those techniques are fine as well. But what I like to do is practice functional fitness, and I like to be able to get my arm all the way down. Functional fitness means it's fitness that's functional in life. In life, I'm going to have my arm fully extended down. I may not have the opportunity to have my arm bent when I'm going to pick something up. I might have to fully extend my arm and then grab it with the only resource being my bicep to pull it up. So, I want to have my muscle conditioned and trained to be able to lift an object with X weight from a fully extended position. That's why I extend it all the way down. That I feel is more functional fitness than a limited range of motion bicep exercise. There are benefits to those limited range of motion exercises, but what we're teaching today is full functional fitness and safety. So as you're doing that, you're not moving your elbow forward and you're not swinging your trunk. That also is allowing a little physics into play, and physics is doing it. As I tilt forward, I arch myself, and it happens as you get tired, you kind of sway. But at the beginning, let's just curl like this without any motion. And you're going to find out that after 15 reps of this, that's 5, let's go to 15, 6, 7, I'm not going to move my upper body, I'm not going to sway, 8, 9, I'm really concentrating on this, 10, I got 5 more, 11, and it's not a lot of weight for me, 12, 13, 14, full extension, 15, boom. Man, my arms are burning from just one set of 15. Because I isolated my muscle, I made only my bicep work. So practice full extension, full contraction, elbow point stays at the same point of your body, and no rocking. Rocking helps it out, so that way there's less work done by your muscle, therefore less growth. So you're not trying to use your hips, we're not strengthening our hips. We're isolating things. If you isolate each muscle group as you work out, you're getting more benefit to that muscle group for the time that you're spending on it. If you sway, you're just cheating yourself. So, isolate it. Now, that was hammer style. Now we talked about how when I rotate from here to here, I didn't do any action, I didn't bend this up, but it changes more. As I rotate it up, it hit more of the outside head of that bicep. So, for these curls, same exact motion. Full extension, shoulder blades drawn back, elbows at your side, all the way up. Feet, whatever distance, at least shoulder width apart, down, up. Inhalation as you go down, exhalation as you curl. Whenever you're lifting weights, you want to strive for the pattern when you're pressing or exerting energy. You want to breathe. You don't want to go and then breathe at the top. Because what you're doing as you're holding your breath, exerting a ton of energy, making something work, you're building up blood pressure. You're going to pop a capillary. Now, you just don't want to increase your blood pressure too much. Innately, whenever you're exerting energy, your blood pressure goes up. But we don't need to make it more difficult. We don't need to do something that's going to elevate it more. So let's do it. So our breathing is exhalation on the up. full extension, full contraction, shoulder blades are pinched, elbows try and stay at the same point in space. I was looking to the left to see if in my mirror, if my elbows were staying at my side, checking myself. That's why mirrors are great in a gym, because you can check yourself. They're not there to admire yourself, they're there to check your form. Sometimes you feel like you're doing right, but then you check yourself and it's like, oh, okay, my body's not in the position I want it to be in. I look like I'm arched. I look like I'm bent over. I don't play in your lower back. I can see myself moving. I want to be like a robot with one hinge that moves if I'm doing biceps. Just my elbow hinge. Just that hinge. So you have palm up bicep curls. You have hammer bicep curls. Now we're going to do this muscle. Now I'm in this position or this position. Let's go here and hammer. Now I'm going to rotate down. I'm going to rotate my palm down while this is bent. And right here, this muscle called the brachioradialis, it flexed, it came into play. And then when I come up from this position, hands palm down, my brachioradialis, this muscle, which also does cross this joint, it's my, I call it my Popeye forearm muscle. That muscle gets a little bit of work when you do the reverse curls. So you can, I'll show you from the front position with these. The side position is the same. Elbow at the side, shoulders pulled back. There's two different ways you can hold a dumbbell, any barbell. My thumb here, see how my thumb is not wrapped around it? This is called the suicide grip. And then the regular grip, okay? Now, you never want to do a suicide grip when you're bench pressing. You always want to have your thumb wrapped. But for these exercises, when you're using a light weight, you can unwrap your wrist. The reason, your thumb, the reason I'm telling you this is because for my wrist, it feels more comfortable when I'm doing reverse curls to unwrap my thumb. When I wrap my thumb, it doesn't feel as friendly, but either way, I think when I was younger, it used to feel okay. But as my wrist joints got a little older, it likes for me to unwrap my thumb to curl the weight. Same thing, all the way down, all the way up. Same position with your feet, same spine, shoulder blades pull back. Now you're gonna notice my weights aren't completely parallel in line with each other. There's a slight tilt to them. That's okay. You can have that slight tilt as you come up, okay? It doesn't have to be totally like this. It's a little confining on your joints of your muscle groups of your elbow and your wrist. So if you unwrap them or you're wrapping, either way, come up as far as you can. You'll also know at the top, it doesn't feel like you can get it as far here versus here. The dumbbell kind of pulls it back when you're here. Here, it feels a little more constricting. This exercise does feel awkward. If it feels awkward, probably doing it right. Check your feet, check your shoulder blades, spine in line, all the way down to my hands, hit my quads. So I think they're almost fully extended. It might, to the side view, look like there's a little bend, but I'm here and up. Now, these three exercises, the hammers, the palm up, and the reverse curls, are three great exercises to do for your biceps, to get a well-rounded development of this bicep region. If you're just starting out, start out with high reps, medium to low weight. How do you know if the weight is right? Well, if you start out with 15 to 20 repetitions, if you try some other standard DVDs like Peanut on the X or something like that, he's all about 30 repetitions. Everything's 30 repetitions, and that's fine. But for time's sake, 15 reps to 20 reps is excellent amount of repetitions, plenty of repetitions to get the lean and mean look if you don't want to be big and bulky. And I promise you, if you're just starting out working out and you're choosing heavy weight, being safe, you're not going to get big and bulky real quick. It's not going to happen. Often women are like, well, I don't want to lift heavy weights, I don't want to get big and bulky. In all my years, I've never made a female look big and bulky trying heavier weight. It's something that you really have to consciously work really, really hard at and make it your mission. if you were a female, to get bulky looking or masculine looking. So it's okay as a female to push yourself with the weights in a safe way as you get in shape. I'm sure that it won't build a look that you will not appreciate. I've never had it happen. It won't happen unless you specifically strive for that look. It's not going to happen. But the repetitions you want, if you're just starting out, let's see if you could just start out with a set of each. One set of 15 to 20, let's say 20 repetitions. How do you know if the weight is right we started with? If you can do the 20 reps, the weight is fine. It's not too heavy. Some individuals have said to me, well, the weight's too heavy. Well, not if you've repetitively gotten the weight to 20 repetitions. If you've done 3 sets of 20, it must not be heavy, too heavy, because you did it. Yes, it was heavy. You felt, in your mind it felt heavy. It was a struggle. Yes, we are weightlifting. It's going to be heavy to a relative degree. So start out with a set. Wait a day. See how your body feels. The next day, see how your body feels. There's something called delayed fatigue onset syndrome, where 2 days later you're sore. The next day you're fine. And all of a sudden, 2 days after your workout, you are crippled. Delayed fatigue onset syndrome. It happens. It's normal for everyone. 2 days later. So if you're not sore the next day, don't get too cocky. Wait till the second day. All right. And if you are sore, the best thing to do, if 2 days later, work out again. It takes energy, puts it to that area that was sore, energy in the form of nutrients and blood flow, oxygen, your general circulation there to get out the toxins that you may have built up. That's the best cure for being sore, is to work out again. I'm sorry to say, and it's the last thing you want to do when you're sore, but it's the best cure. So, 15 to 20 reps, 1 set of each, call it a day if this is the first time you've ever worked out. Next time you come back, bump it up to 3 sets. Do these exercises, 3 sets of each. Now we showed you 3 exercises for the whole circumference. Now one more way to do that, one more style. Same concept of how you hold your hands. But if you've ever watched any TV and you've ever seen a movie where there's filming something in prison, we call these prison curls. Because in every movie, when the guy's in the yard in prison, you'll see some guy going like this in the background. So we've named these prison curls. This is just a different way to do it, so you can sit down on the bench. You can do a palm up, you can do it hammer, you can do it reverse. It's easy if you're tired, but you want to get more sets in. Go to your prison curls. It's hard because your leg acts as a barrier, so you can't cheat, you can't swing, it isolates your bicep. It's a great technique to get a bicep workout in. What you do is you take your elbow and you put it in your inner thigh, halfway between your knee and your groin. Just lay it in here so your elbow's not on top of your leg. Falls off of it, you're sagged down, right? The other hand, here, wherever's comfortable for you, okay? I can't go, I can't swing technically, I could, but this isolates my arm. And it keeps this bone vertical, and that's what I want. And this is another way. Do the technique like this if you would like, after the first 3 sets that we just showed you. And all you do is you do your 15, bam, hand it off, switch arms, this elbow in the inner thigh, and coming up for another 15, okay? Now after you do that, I just want you to have a catch with your arm, back and forth. As many sets as you can get in with the palm up style. Take a break for a second, stretch them out, right? Come back in, do the same thing. Hammer style. Now you're doing hammers, back and forth for your sets of 15. If you cannot get multiple sets of 15, it's fine to decrease them. Let's go 15, 15, 12, 12, 10, 10. Okay, 15 reps. If you can't get 15 next time, do 12. Whatever you can get, push yourself to that most reps. Now, after those 2, palm up, hammer, we can try the reverse. Way more difficult in this position, but you can see that muscle popping out there. Boom, all the way down, all the way up. Same thing, back and forth in those prison curls. I kind of keep my spine in line as much as I can. I don't slouch over. I still instead of going here, hunching my back, I kind of do this. I post up with my hand and curl this way. All right? and get those multiple sets in of that. This is for a beginner or an advanced. It's for a beginner because I showed you what it does and how it functions, what the point of each position is. An advanced because if you do this in multiple sets, if you were to do 3 sets of the standing and then 3 sets of the sitting, you're talking about 6 sets per muscle group times 3 exercises for standing. And then if you do it again when you're, down here, you'll get three sets up here of hammers, buys, and reverse. 3 sets each way, okay? So there's 9 up there. And then you'll get another 9 down here. That's 18 sets. That is a great bicep day. So that's just the simple basic ways to work your bicep and the functions, the action of that muscle. And your deltoids are your helper muscles to that. As your bi flexes, these muscles are stabilizing. They're staying still to allow the biceps a secure position and hold that shoulder and joint. Okay, every muscle group has helper muscles that actually help and aid with it, and stabilizer muscles that stabilize the joint around that action group. All right, thanks for listening. That's the basic biceps. Have an amazing day.